The latest in pop culture and nerd news, an unhealthy obsession with pizza, and more Trek than 12 listeners can handle. Seriously, guys, we could use a few new subscribers, so, tell a friend, please. Keeping up with the Cardassians.
It's Monday and we're back.
There hasn't been an opening this awkward since we recorded in the church with no headphones.
Yeah, that was really awkward.
I also, you know what? I'm not going to lie. I kind of like doing the intro where I just wait for it and see you guys stare at me waiting for me to do it. It's kind of fun.
Well, I was like, is Nick going to say some dumb shit over the intro this week?
No, today I just played the sexy sax music.
Okay.
All right.
I think that it is our intro.
Yeah.
Welcome to
People
the
know immediately
Cardassians.
That's our show.
Welcome to Keeping Up with the Cardassians Nights. Because if you watch online, there's a special mood lighting tonight for the YouTube. So if you want to tune in on YouTube, you can see us in our night clothes. Because Joe and I are wearing pajamas together.
I'm not wearing pants, actually.
Yeah, we're not.
I sleep in the nude, so.
I say you're a little overdressed for pajamas.
Well, that was Joe.
That's going to be awkward on the cruise.
That is,
I mean,
I sleep in the nude, too.
I'll be fine.
Are we sharing the bed, then?
Uh-huh.
Okay. We can go skiing.
It's a naked bed.
This was Nick, and that was Joe, and that was Rob. So welcome to Keeping Up with the Cardassians. We are fresh off of our week off for Memorial Day. We hope you all had a great Memorial Day.
I feel refreshed.
We hope you took some time to honor those who have passed in service to this country.
We might need that light so we can get the fan going.
It's going to get hot in here.
So hot.
Okay,
so
Nelly.
take off all your clothes.
But we're back, ladies and gentlemen. And today, actually, because a lot of pop culture happened, and also because we noticed we've been running a little bit longer on our episodes lately, we're just going to review one today. That doesn't mean we're going to do.
God.
That doesn't mean we're going to do this every week. But just this week, we're going to review one episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, and that is Time Squared. And we will hit that up in the second half of the episode. Of course, this first half, we like to talk movies, news, TV shows, pop culture, video games, comics, toys, and whatever else.
That does sound like a lot.
It is a lot. But Rob insisted we only do one episode.
Yeah.
He was really violently insistent upon it, actually.
I mean, if you read the text, it's like, look, you sons of bitches, we're going to do one episode this week or I will gut you like a fish.
And he sent pictures of, like, I think they were gutted fish, but there was you couldn't actually see the fish. You just saw the guts. So it made me, like, wonder if he's actually killing people.
Yeah.
And just sharing the...
Hey, you never know. Just saying.
You don't.
Which is why we're taking his threats seriously and doing one episode this week.
Exactly. So
Because you never know.
So, yeah, exactly.
I think Rob knows people, so...
He does.
I do.
He does. And he's found some dead bodies in the past.
In the past
And here's
year.
the question.
Found.
He's found them.
I found this dead body. It's crazy.
What a coincidence that there's blood all over my hands and there's a dead body here.
What a coincidence, the last two jobs you've had, Rob, where you've just found dead bodies all the time.
I know.
How many other people at your jobs have found dead bodies? Zero?
Actually, yeah.
You know what? If it was your family video job and you were finding dead bodies, I'd be a little more concerned, though.
Yeah.
But it's not family.
No, I wouldn't.
Actually, that's a good point. You find some weird stuff at video stores late at night.
That's true.
Yeah.
I kind of miss those days.
So do I.
Ask the folks at Video Exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, drop the Video Exclusive. We are sponsored by Video Exclusive.
We are.
They are a video store right here in Dearborn Heights, Michigan.
And running on a years-long streak of no dead bodies in their store.
Years.
That we are aware of.
Correct.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say they've never had a dead body in their store.
They're like the Disney of video stores. They just, nothing bad ever happens. So everything is swept under the rug.
But naughty things happen.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have all kinds of movies there. You got your G to your
Not G.
not
Yeah.
G movies.
And if you want to see dead bodies, they have movies where people die.
And they are, if not the only, one of the few physical media video stores
yeah.
left in the entirety of the United States.
I mean, we are coming to a point where there's virtually nothing left.
Yeah, I mean,
for physical media rental.
There's a Blockbuster all the way up in Washington.
Are all the family videos done?
They're gone.
Of course they are, because Family Video
Video
was
exclusive.
garbage.
Well,
What are you talking about? Outlasted your store, didn't it?
That's not saying much.
By a number of years.
It actually did. That was pretty impressive.
They took their managers to trips. They took care of their
I know.
How'd that
The prices were low?
Blockbuster treated their
How'd that
management like crap.
Blockbuster Netflix deal work out for them?
What idiots. What was the CEO? Reed Hastings, I think, at the time, or something like that. And like it said, it was a bad deal for them. And then they created their own version of it, and it was terrible. So no one wanted it. But anyways, video exclusive. Video exclusive on Dearborn. Go there. We love them. So, Dearborn.
Facebook page, too.
On Telegraph Road right now.
You think Dearborn Heights?
Yeah, that's I added the
Heights.
Heights afterwards. Sorry.
Okay. The Heights?
The Heights. In the meantime, make sure you do follow us on Facebook, like us on Twitter, Cardassians Pod. Facebook, you can find us at Keeping Up with the Cardassians. You can find us on Meta. You can find us on Threads. I did it again.
Yeah.
You can find us on Instagram, Keeping_up_Cardassians. Find us there. YouTube.
Yeah.
Find us.
We're on the internet.
Apple Pods, give us a rating.
Yeah.
Give us a review. Send us a text.
You got it.
734-494-0980.
If anybody has any dark web links, then
No,
send them our way.
Well,
Yeah.
don't be careful. Don't send them to our email because we don't want to get viruses, right?
Oh, that's true.
That's true. Joe already has enough for all of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They're contained. They're treated.
They only come
fine.
back every once in a while.
They're stress. It's just stress. I gotta. That's why I live a chill lifestyle, man.
I get it. I hear you.
Chill out, and you'll be fine.
Can I tell you something fun that happened to me this week?
Yes.
Rob, can I?
Yeah.
I need unanimous approval. That's how this podcast works, right?
No, we do what we want.
That's a good point. I had a barbecue on Monday,
Hey.
and
Where
it was
was
a
I?
lot of fun. And it was with you boys.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
It was a good time. We had a good time, right?
Yeah, it did. It was nice to have us have a little outing with you guys.
So what's so funny is we often, the way it works out is Joe's a very busy man. He's got a lot going on in his life. Rob's a busy man. I'm a busy man. So it's very difficult that all three of our schedules coincide where we can all get together. So we get together to record, but like, and we have a great
that's baked
time.
into our lives. That's baked in.
Exactly. And we have a great time, and it's a lot of fun. And this, what you're hearing isn't manufactured stuff. We like each other. So we enjoy our time together, but I know that's iffy. And then we go off our own merry ways, but it's not very often we can get together without having a microphone in front of us. Which is a weird truth, actually.
Yeah.
So it was nice. We had a great time. We got to meet some new people and be friendly with them. And
you grilled us some thick meat.
Some thick meat.
So I don't.
I like them thick, man.
There was 11 of us, and it was 5 pounds of meat.
Yeah.
So 5 pounds.
Roughly, half-pound burgers.
Yeah,
but some of those were like 3/4 pounds, and
you know what's so funny is I was watching people take the burgers, and I was watching the little kids take the big ones, and I'm like, you sons, because I knew they weren't going to finish them.
Yeah.
Sure enough, I saw your child throw away half of his burger, and I'm like, I got stuck with one of the little ones, and I'm son of a gun. And I'm also really deeply hurt, and I need the people on Facebook to respond to, or people who listen to this. 734-494-0980.
Why are you hurt? What happened?
I'd like you to cook it medium well, please.
What?
Who cooks a burger medium?
Normal people.
Well.
Normal
people. 734-494-0980. Burgers should be medium rare. Burgers should be medium rare.
Should be
no,
medium.
they should
Burgers
not.
Medium.
should be medium rare.
No, they should not.
No,
steaks should be medium rare.
Yes.
Burgers should not.
Yes, they should.
No, that's insanity.
You're insanity.
I don't want a bloody bun. I don't want my buns bloody.
Yeah.
Good Lord. I just heard myself.
All right, where?
Oh,
Nick,
734.
What's the timestamp here?
I
Where are we
know.
at?
I need to get that audio clip of it.
No, I need the timestamp. I'll pull it.
Somewhere around
somewhere
10
around 10
minutes.
You're not
okay.
going to pull it.
So I'll have it.
Somewhere else around 10 minutes.
I will. I will have that for you tonight.
Oh my
I gotta
gosh.
get a good picture of you.
Oh my gosh. If I could.
Oh, all
if I
good
could
pictures.
Can I take a later? Can we make a moaning face for no reason? No,
Oh, yeah. No
not
reason?
completely unrelated.
Asking for a friend?
Oh gosh. So, anyways, medium rare.
No.
Yes.
No.
Why? What is your objection?
It's not done enough. I don't need it to be raw in the middle.
It's not raw. It's medium rare. It's not raw.
Medium rare is almost raw in the middle.
No, rare
Yes,
is raw.
I said almost raw. I
I
don't.
did say almost. Edward James almost. That's what I said.
The proper way to cook a burger is somewhere
Don't
between.
you dare tell me what the proper way. You can offer your opinion, but don't
somewhere
you dare.
between medium and medium well.
You're such an idiot. Medium rare burger. Look at these pictures. You're telling me
That's not a medium. That's gross.
that's medium rare. That's a good burger. That's good burger. Good burger. There you go. There's your pictures. Medium rare.
No.
Well, yes, it is. So we were probably
That's animated. That's
we were along
stupid.
medium well, I would say. Medium well is where we were at.
I think a little more well than medium.
Oh, look at that. That is a perfect
No,
burger.
it is.
No
That is
way.
disgusting.
Sorry, you're not seeing this online.
That is
but
absolutely disgusting.
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
You're crazy.
That's sous vide.
Send
though,
that to
so
Rob. Send that to Rob.
That's rare.
That's
we have to
disgusting.
apologize since we are an audio podcast about the lack of visual aid here.
I'll do it for you. It's basically slightly cooked on the outside and raw on the inside.
Which
and juicy.
I didn't miss that.
No.
My precious. Sorry.
We apologize to the listener that we have left.
But anyways, send us your favorite pictures of meat.
Oh God.
734
Yes.
494
12 minutes, 10 seconds.
Yep.
I'd like to know, do you have your burgers medium rare, medium well? Well, I want to know.
Well is psychotic.
Well, it is psychotic.
Yeah, well is kind of psychotic, right? Because it's dry.
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
I'll never understand the steak well done thing either.
No. I grew up as a well done steak person.
My mom was the
because
same
my
way.
parents. My dad has a fear of undercooked food because his mom undercooked chicken one time, and he lost it. Like, so everything growing up was overcooked.
Oh, gotcha.
So everything was like meat was crumbly. It was all any sort of beef was like jerky basically. And it wasn't until I started to get a little older, I'm like, okay,
I hate when the beef is jerky.
medium well, and then medium, and I think the perfect steak for me is somewhere between medium rare and medium. Actually medium rare is a little underdone for me, but actual medium is maybe a little too done on the edges. So somewhere in between the two is perfect.
Yeah.
So I just looked up, and this isn't for burgers. This is just for steaks. So steak preference, 36%.
Should make a poll on Twitter for this.
The public prefers medium.
still do
36% prefers
so.
medium rare. So it's tied, and then medium well and well are higher numbers.
Yeah, so
And
medium and medium rare is tied 36%.
Yeah.
they do polls on Instagram. I could do that on Instagram, I think. Too.
Oh, how Americans order their
Mm-hmm.
steaks and hamburgers. I found this at today.ugov.com. Ooh. See, Americans are oh my gosh, look at the percentage of them that prefer it well, according to this website. 24% prefer well on their steaks.
What?
16% medium well, 13% medium,
24%?
23% medium rare, 11% rare, and 2% blue rare. Blue rare I will not do. Blue rare is like, I might as well be eaten out in the wild. Oh, there's bipartisan support for well-done burgers. This actually goes by political party. This is amazing. Check this out. Democrats.
Well done burgers is insane.
It's insane.
Democrats, 40% of them prefer well burgers.
That's
Republicans, 38%.
idiots.
Medium well, 18% for Democrat, 24% for Republican. Medium, 16 for Democrats, 18 for Republicans. Medium rare, 15% versus 12 for Republicans. So there you go. There's something we're united on as a country.
Yeah.
See,
What's the third party option?
Yeah.
There's independents are in there. 12% for medium rare, 19 for medium well, 22, well, 39. So they line up
39.
right in the middle. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Burnt.
This explains
2% of Republicans, 1% of Democrats.
I knew somebody who every time they were at my house and I barbecued for them, they would want their burger burnt.
So
that's disgusting.
Like everybody else is eating,
char.
and I'm standing there waiting to burn this piece of meat.
So this voting
enough
system
for this
really
person.
kind of explains our political system in this country right now. That if 30-some-odd% prefer their burgers well done.
If you
And
prefer
we
your
were
burger well
expecting them
done,
to vote
Stop
for someone
listening.
to run our country.
if you prefer your burger well done, there's a couple things. One, don't listen to this show. We don't want you.
734-494-0980.
We don't want you.
Yeah.
I don't want you.
Yeah.
Just go away and just don't come back.
Joe doesn't mean that.
And two,
Because you can reform them.
no,
they keep listening
those
every week,
people are Nick. Those people are a lost cause.
No. Are they truly the ones who are a lost cause?
I think they've jumped. I think that's the one person that I'm like, I don't really want you listening to our show.
And second of all, don't vote. Like you shouldn't be allowed to vote. They should be considered.
It should be felons.
They should be considered felons.
Yep.
That's a very hot take, gentlemen.
I think that he's onto something, and I support it.
Is this better than your hot take about urgent care doctors? Should they be considered felons too?
How is that considered a hot take?
To be fair, we didn't get any.
Urgent care doctors are not real
To
doctors.
be fair, a burnt burger is a hot take because you gotta like.
I bet you
fire.
urgent care doctors that like their burgers well done is like 96%.
So we didn't get any backlash for that last week.
Because it's real. It's a real thing.
The urgent care doctor's like, yeah, he's right.
I say one thing
We-
about
we
the
suck.
I say one thing about the deaf community, and I get basically death threats
Death
death threats. But we go on for.
Hilarious TikTok.
Someone told me to die once. So
I mean,
I'm with you.
we go on a 20-minute rant about how urgent care doctors aren't real and crickets.
Don't
Nothing.
say we. You.
It was both of us.
We.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
when you're specifying we on something that's going to get you canceled,
That's a 2/3 vote.
make sure you specify who it is.
That's a 2/3 vote. You would
No, we're
you would be
unanimous. I
impeached.
said that at the beginning of.
No, it's a 2/3 vote. So now, keeping the Cardassians a full
You need a
sponsor of
you need a super majority. So you
Urgent-
need 3/4 of vote in this.
urgent care doctors are hacks.
No, no. What are we going to be anti-vaxxers next?
We didn't say anything about that.
No.
It's just-
I'm anti.
I believe in medicine. I just don't believe in urgent care.
Listen, there are tiers. The bottom tier is telehealth.
Yes.
Like that's you could find a lab coat at a garage sale, and you're like, set up a Zoom, and you're good. And then there's urgent care, and then there's I don't know. I think ER is up there. You like if you're in a legit ER, like you got to know that's. Emergency is in the title.
So last Friday, when my dad had to go to the emergency room, he's like, he wanted to go to urgent care, and I'm like, Dad, do you want to die?
Yeah.
Oh my
And he's like,
gosh.
what? I go, we're not taking to urgent care, so they can go, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
So he took to the ER.
Oh my gosh.
He's going to go to an urgent care. They're going to give him a Z-Pack.
And they're going to say,
That's
go
it.
to the emergency room.
I really
That's what
hate
they're going to
you
say.
guys. 734-494-0980.
There's a Z-Pack and some
Is this
baby
gonna be your-
aspirin.
Can you cut this out for audio
Is this
for
g-
the socials?
No. I don't
Yes.
want to
Just
part
start
of that.
tagging random doctors.
Starting Twitter wars with doctors. Oh my gosh. Find out the names of the doctors at the local urgent care and just stand outside with signs.
We should protest urgent care places and take pictures.
I would dare you to, but I think you guys both would.
Oh, I would.
Yeah, we would.
Heartbeat.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
There's a Patreon. Keeping the Cardassians skid in there somewhere.
There's got to be.
So if you eat a super rare steak and then you start to get stomach pains, you're going to emergency room, not urgent care.
I would never go to a urgent care ever.
You
I've
too.
been twice, and it was pointless.
I've been a couple times.
I will say the last 4 or 5 times I've been, it's been pointless. Or like one
Well,
time I went and they they're like, okay, you got to go to the ER.
Thank you.
You need to see a real doctor.
Hacks. Oh, we don't know how to do this.
So, a fun story from the past, actually, now that I think about it. Eli gets hit by a car. That's not the fun story.
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Not the fun story.
That's a good start, though.
And he feels like he's fine, right? So he gets home. He's got the adrenaline going. So he's like, I'm okay. And then finally, as the night goes on, he's like, this is really hurting. I don't know what to do. I'm like, okay, so we'll take you to urgent care.
Strike one.
They can do.
So you don't love your son.
They can do X-rays, right?
So they don't love your son at all.
So they do the X-rays, and the doctor, who is a
Their X-rays are basically just
Doctor.
he was a PA.
The way they do X-rays is as an Instagram filter.
Let me finish my story.
Selfie.
So they don't actually evaluate the X-rays there. They send them off to somewhere else.
Emergency room.
You're making
So
our
the guy
point for us.
The guy comes in. The guy does come in, and he's like, yeah, his arm's broken. I'm going to have to put it in a sling. He then proceeds to pull out his cell phone and research how to put on a sling. I'm not kidding you. He did this. And he's like, well, I think this is the right way to do it.
Here's a YouTube video.
Like, super inspiring confidence in both Leslie and me who are standing there. And he puts it on.
And you support urgent cares, right?
Yeah.
Asking for a friend.
Here's a YouTube video series on how to...
I do. I support urgent care because that's the only place where we could get the X-rays at that time. I could have went to the emergency room. I would have paid a fortune for it.
Your $50 copay.
So it depends on your insurance, bro.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, $50 copay. Not all of us got that, bro. Some of us have to actually work for our money.
Yeah, but going to urgent care, you're basically having
come with
this
me for a day. See if you can hang.
All those dead bodies everywhere.
But
dead bodies everywhere. That's right.
Great song.
Yeah, it is.
You don't want to go to a doctor who's YouTubing how to put on a sling.
It was pretty comical, honestly. And then there was another time we actually went with our kid to the doctor's office because it was when he was a little bit younger and he fell playing at the playground and we knew he was fine, right?
Eli seems to get hurt a lot.
He was, he was unsupervised.
CPS, if you're listening.
He hurt himself and he's like, so
one more time.
So so much pain. So Leslie and I both are like, well, you know what? We know he's fine.
Walk it off, bitch.
But we're gonna teach him a lesson.
Oh yeah, Jesus.
We're gonna take him to urgent care. They're gonna do the X-rays and they're gonna be like, bro, you fine, right? So they take the X-rays. They take him out and they take the X-rays.
They're like, Jesus Christ, why didn't you get here earlier?
And they come back fine, right? And then they take Eli back for something else. I can't remember what it was. Doctor comes in a room by herself and proceeds to lecture us on our parenting, how we can't always buy into our kids' hype, and we need to be the steady, calm influence in his life. And sometimes when he's hurt, he's not really hurt. And as you,
oh my God, let a doctor do that to me one time. One time,
I know.
And we were just like, okay, like we were annoyed, but like I was kind of like chuckling in my head. I'm like, whatever. I was zoning out. I wasn't paying attention to her, but like, lady, we actually did this to represent a point to the kid. Like, not everything is the end of the world. You're perfectly fine.
We were kind of hoping you were going to say, let's amputate.
You let an urgent care doctor speak to you like that? Jesus Christ.
Please,
Nick.
please.
She like lectured us, and I want to be like, we don't need your parenting guidance.
Please, when you're saying urgent care doctor, I need quotation marks.
Okay, doctor.
Oh my gosh, this is so troubling. I know I'm giving a lot of stories that tell you.
Clearly you don't listen because the broken leg or arm story that you just told was after this. And he was like, I'm in a lot of pain. And you're like, all right, well, let's go. Let's go back to urgent care.
Well, and then another time he fell at school.
Again.
I wasn't with him. He fell, and the school calls, and they're like, he's bleeding bad. He needs stitches. So first stop was
urgent care.
And you said,
well, there was an urgent care doctor from 6 months ago that told me to tell my son to fuck off every time he says he's hurting.
This was one of my, so a while ago, and he had fallen on a play set and like fallen directly into a bolt that was sticking out and like needed stitches, and it was pretty wicked looking, right?
Are these years apart, or was this within like 6 months?
No, this is years apart.
How's CPS not coming to your door?
The car strike was.
He lives on church grounds.
He got hit by the car within the last year. The other one about fell at the playground and got hurt was like 2-3 years ago.
A year and a day ago.
And then the
just beyond statute of limitations. It's crazy.
The car didn't work, so
who was driving?
This other story was when he was like 6. Okay, so the school
he has
calls me. I
a
pick him
long
up,
history
and
of
they're like, "We
parental
think he
abuse.
might need stitches," and he puts the thing down, and like his like flesh is falling out. I'm like, Eli, you're perfectly fine, but let's go to urgent care. So we go to urgent care.
God.
The doctor looks at it and goes, "Ain't nothing I can do here. You gotta go to the
Of
emergency
course
room."
you went to urgent
I'm like, I
care.
go to urgent care for stitches, bro. You go for stitches.
They don't know what they're doing.
They're like, so you need some aspirin?
The same guy looking up on
They
YouTube.
literally put Neosporin on.
Jesus
Christ. I go to the emergency room. I'm really not inspiring confidence in urgent care. I
You're
know this.
supporting our cause.
I
I
know
know.
this.
Oh, this is great. I love the urgent care stories.
I know. Keep going, please.
They're there for you go to urgent care for sniffles. You don't go for big things.
Apparently, you do.
What are you? Okay, now I'm with the doctor. Well, you don't take your kid anywhere if they got sniffles.
No, not. Oh gosh, I know that.
But I mean, even if they did have sniffles and they're like, I've been sniffling for 3 weeks, I'd still say, oh well, what? I'm not taking it to urgent
Go
care.
for a walk.
you guys.
I'm waiting until it turns into full blown AIDS and we'll go to a real doctor.
We're 25 minutes in and we've ranted about burgers and urgent care doctors. Okay.
Again. You
And-
forgot the word again.
And here's the thing. We said we were only going to do one episode because there was a lot of pop culture news to cover. Guess
Oh, yeah.
what? We have not talked about at all.
You started with your medium rare
I
burger
couldn't
bullshit.
help it. I couldn't help it. You know,
Rob, what are we talking
I
about?
need you people to call in and support.
You people.
Yeah,
That's-
you
that's-
medium rare people, call in and
Oh,
support me.
Please don't do that.
Support me. My medium rare homies.
We've already fired the well done people.
Yeah.
734-494-0980. But let's cover a couple pop culture things, right?
Okay.
So Rob, you take the lead.
Well, one thing I want to announce right off the bat that sometime in September, a Nana visitor has agreed to be on the show again.
Yay!
So-
Good friend of the show.
Yep, we'll be having her on to talk to her about miscellaneous things, but mostly about her book.
I'm excited about her book.
Yeah,
and
me
it comes
too.
out in September as well.
October
right?
1st.
October 1st. Okay. October 1st. Okay. You got to mark down that date. I'm excited for that book.
Yep, we said in August we'll nail down more of a time frame, but so yeah,
Nice.
but she's
Nice.
on board.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yep.
We're going to lock down
And
some karaoke songs we're going to do.
Uh-huh. And she'll be on board as well in February
That's right.
on the cruise ship. Yeah, we're going to lock down some karaoke. I'm going to have to start researching some karaoke songs.
I'm going to see if she'll do Islands in the Stream duet with me.
She is a Broadway singer. She
Yes.
likes Broadway songs.
So you're saying I should
I'm going to see if she'll do Islands in the Stream duet with me.
Join me in my thought bubble. Poof. It just came up here. If we're doing karaoke, hypothetically, with the Nana visitor, and I sing Steel Panther,
She might appreciate it.
What if the four of us do Bohemian Rhapsody?
I can't.
What
I
if we
can't
do
play.
a Chance the Rapper song together? Because our first interview, we were talking about Chance
Yeah.
the Rapper, and she came on and she's like, Chance the effing rapper.
Yeah.
Because that's something Joe said.
How about we do Parappa the Rapper?
Nice.
You
That's
like
a good.
that?
That's a good pull.
You like that?
That's Streamcast, wasn't it?
No, PlayStation.
Oh, PlayStation, bro.
Was it PlayStation?
One.
I think.
Fact check. It's PlayStation 1. This guy.
I got news. Okay,
While he's
Nick.
embarrassing himself, you go on to the next.
97 for PlayStation.
Yeah, because my friend who's dead in '98. That's where I played it at.
Wow! You can't pull out the dead card.
Where yeah,
If you would, did he go to? He probably went to an urgent care.
Heritage Hospital. So same thing. That's where people go to die.
Oh.
Heritage Hospital, or sorry, Corwell Taylor.
So, anyways, Nana Visitor's going to be on in September. We're going to figure out some karaoke songs with her. What else you got for us?
Not much on my end, but there's a bunch of Star Trek news that maybe 25 minutes already. Who cares? A bunch of Star Trek news that came out, including the prequel movie coming out, is going to be in the Prime universe.
Yeah, we already knew that.
But did we talk about it in here?
Yeah, we mentioned that a while ago, and you're like, Prime Universe, that just means the regular universe because it's, before the Kelvin.
Yeah, it sucks. I don't. Star Trek was never supposed to go back, although I do love Strange New Worlds. I'll admit that. It's not supposed to go back. It's supposed to at least progress ideas. I don't need to know the
But has every show progressed further and further into the future?
No, until Enterprise.
Voyager. Yeah. Voyager was the last one.
Voyager's last one. The Enterprise, they went back.
And now they've only gone back, except for Discovery went forward again.
Yeah, so they went back to go forward.
Well, yeah, but DS9 wasn't that far forward.
No, but it was still progressing.
It's concurrent almost.
Yes,
pretty
it's
much.
Still
It's progressing the timeline of the Federation.
So by default, it was going forward. It just wasn't leaping 100 years or whatever.
So here's my thing. So we know that because Discovery leaped 1,000 years in the future. So they tell us all these things that happen, like Romulan and Vulcan unite, and they become one finally.
Which is cool.
Which is kind of cool. And then the Federation collapses, and they have to rebuild the Federation.
Which isn't as cool.
Isn't as cool, but I could see how that could happen when your
Sure.
unlimited power supply disappears. Like
Unlimited power.
unlimited power. When it disappears, what are you going to do? Here's my problem again. Because they've gone so far forward in the future, we know what's going to happen. So now, even if they do a show set in the year 2600, well, you know where it's going. I don't know.
But there's there are things that happen that you could tell stories.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
are interesting stories to be told.
Or we could retcon and completely pretend like Discovery never happened.
Okay, but
Thumbs up.
serious question though. What's going to make everybody happy?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Like, what are
I'm
they-
just
what are they-
joking
Strange
about
New
that.
Worlds and Star Trek Legacy.
But what are they
Yes.
supposed to do?
Well, that's this is part of the problem with Star Trek fans. And this is also the same. Actually, this is Star Wars fans and Marvel's fans. We're so toxic.
Yeah.
We spend so much time attacking, and
And
especially
critiquing
and Star Trek has a real problem with that because of canon. Star Trek was like the big thing, like canon is so important.
I'm a huge canon person.
I am too, but there are points in times where you have to be like, look, this isn't necessarily canon. This was budget limitations of the era.
Oh, I can get past like the Strange New World Enterprise being like 15 times the size of TOS. I've moved on from that.
Yeah, but
It's a necessary evil.
I guess
Got him.
But like stuff like the Cleons and all that, or like, I don't know. People get so wrapped up on things that don't actually matter. Like, let the story speak.
Problem is, the story sucked.
Yes.
So therefore, it made everything else just as bad.
Which is like, this is
There's
what
nothing. If the story is good, you can look past some of those.
Strange New
particulars.
Worlds is a
Yes.
great example of that. So the bridges are crazy. The shuttlecraft are crazy.
Yeah, but the storytelling is very good.
But the storytelling is very good. So it's easier for you to get past all the other things
all the other inconsistencies.
because now you see the quality of the product as a whole.
Yeah.
Versus Discovery, where I didn't need to see a Klingon sex scene, first of all. Never needed to see that.
I'm in. What episode number? When?
One, I think. One or two.
It was not one. It was like 3 or 4, I think it was. But at the 14-minute and 20-second.
Yeah. And yeah.
I'm kidding.
And there was never a mutineer in
Be right
Starfleet.
back.
And then the first episode, there's a mutineer in Starfleet.
Well, so those sorts of canon things are, or like Spock never had a sister, and then now he has a half sister. Like those are weird leaps.
Did you almost say illogical?
Illogical.
That is
You almost
illogical.
did, yeah.
And this is where I think. So, I think sometimes those things happen to be edgy more so than they actually need to happen for storytelling purposes.
I agree.
Like,
I think that's
did
the
she
only reason it
really
was done.
need to be Spock's sister? Could she been of another Vulcan sister and it would have been just fine? Absolutely.
If the writing is good, you can create that content and make it
Exactly.
compelling.
You don't need to fangirl over the previous stuff just to make new stuff and then spend all your time retconning and violating canon. That's the one reason why I actually do appreciate Voyager more than you do, I know. Because
I'm going to put a pin in that until I watch it again.
okay. Because I think one of the things that it did have going for it is it said, look, you know what, we don't want to risk, we have TOS, we have Next Generation, we have DS9, we have some we have all 6 of the original series movies, some of the Next Generation movies. There's a lot of canon here that we could F up if we do this wrong. Let's fling them into the Delta Quadrant, and we have a whole new playground to play with. And so that gave them an advantage. The problem is they just took certain villains in there and replaced them with ones that are the same. Oh, we don't have Cleons. Oh, but now we have the Kazon. Oh, we don't have the Breen. Oh, but now we have the Hirogen. Stuff like this. They had some.
Let's bring back the Borg.
The Borg
All the time.
all the time. The Vidians were pretty cool. I like the Vidians. Those were the ones who were like would
The
steal
disease?
organs.
Yeah.
Those were cool.
It's a cool concept.
Species 8472 was super cool. Lived in fluidic space, and they were the only ones who could dominate the board. Like there was some cool stuff. Anyways, I just went on a rant about Star Trek. I'm sorry.
No, I don't like lazy storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do storytelling, abide by canon with some oddities. There's always, it's fiction. It's fake.
Yeah.
There's going to be
Fake news.
There's going to be things that are just botched. But to me, just to make things controversial or edgy,
Yeah.
not a fan of that. It's lazy to me.
Yeah, I get you. But
And that's what my problem with a lot of like early Picard and what Discovery is that it was just lazy writing.
yeah. Oh, Picard's a robot now.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of killing somebody. Just
It happened 4 years ago.
oh, we're gonna
bro.
be watching that. That's Star Trek: The Next Generation season 8.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
That's such a quality drop off.
Well, we gotta expose Joe.
That's why we
we have
went.
to expose
Have
Joe.
you-
That's why we went.
Have you
to
not
be
been
a-
watching season 1 and 2?
I know that's
got
the point, but it gets better. It gets better. Speaking of edgy and controversial, Joe, you're staring at a picture.
Yes. There's been a casting in the Starfleet Academy series.
2 weeks later, we're breaking this news.
Yeah. Academy Award winner Holly Hunter has officially been cast as the captain and chancellor of the upcoming Paramount Plus series, Starfleet Academy.
Everyone, quickly do your best Holly Hunter
Boo.
impression. Do your best Holly Hunter impression. So my name is Holly Hunter.
That is
I saw Holly Hunter.
Silence of the Lambs.
That's terrible. Holly Hunter, I
she
can't.
Do
didn't-
an impression.
I
No,
can't.
I can't. I refuse. I can't stand her. I think that's a bad casting.
I appreciate that they got somebody with a name. I don't care about Holly Hunter.
You will care
And I
about her.
Don't care much for the concept of the show. Hopefully,
you might
hopefully
like
I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. It is nice that Tawny Newson's on the writing staff, so that gives me
I need the
some.
money, you know. So I'll do a movie for the dough. Oh wow,
I'll do a
they're
movie
offering
for-
me what?
That's a very honest statement.
All right, sorry.
What?
She just said I'll do it for the money, and then she's on Star Trek. Coincidence.
Yeah, I'll do it for the money. What?
You know what though? She could be really good for the role.
Why?
She could be. People hated Zachary Quinto when he was cast as Spock. People hated Carl Urban. No one hated.
No one hates
Urban's
Carl
cast.
Urban. Shut
People
your
hated
mouth.
Chris Pine's casting as Kirk. He did a pretty good job as Kirk.
He was great.
So I'm going to reserve room to be pleasantly surprised.
No, sure.
I will go into it with an open mind once it comes out, and hopefully,
All I'm hoping for is that I watch it and I don't want to throw something at my television every time she's on screen. That's a win.
Some people feel the same way about you on our show.
I know. And I'm not reimbursing them for their broken computer screens.
But you know who doesn't? Quick viewer feedback. Someone said, late to the party, but I need to say
Cole.
Joe is hilarious. I know.
Yes.
oh man,
So
Read the rest of that. Is that looks like a
no,
multi-sentence.
it's other stuff that it's like show meeting stuff that we've got to talk with Cole about. But
yeah, thank you, Cole.
can you, Cole?
I knew
Brody,
he had a sense of humor.
Like why? We're literally going to hear about this for the next week again.
that was our viewer feedback from last week. But
That's all we
next
got. The
week
one thing it was that I was
we're gonna be
hilarious.
flooded with
That's
medium rare
100%.
steak
What a
comments
success
this
rate.
week.
100% success rate.
False.
Can someone just call and
Kill
trash
me
Joe?
now.
Just leave a voicemail saying, Joe, don't let it go to your head.
How many?
Joe, no Mo.
No, nobody has said I'm not funny though.
This is true.
I have.
You absolutely do not count.
Marv on his blog from Pods Like Us said that we're exhausting.
Because sometimes we jump around.
Yeah, he's like, listen, his description. I'm like, man, we sound exhausting. He goes, you are. I'm like, yikes.
Yeah.
It was funny. I laughed.
Now, what does Marv know?
Hey, we support Marv.
We love Marv.
We love Marv.
We're patrons of his.
Yep.
Does Marv think I'm funny?
And Pods Like Us.
Pods Like Us was great, and that was one of our first interviews.
It was our first interview.
It was.
with Marv, and
He talks to other podcasts, which I think is a cool concept.
it's such a cool. How much work is that though?
It's got to be a ton of work.
You got to research all the podcast.
Yeah,
What
you can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna sign this one up. So what do you do? Tell me about your show.
he's gonna approach it the Larry King way, where he just doesn't. He
Doesn't
does
do
not,
any homework.
No homework, and it's just.
Just him like,
Do you ever see the clip of when he interviewed Jerry Seinfeld?
no.
Oh my God! Jerry was like, "Can someone get him a resume? Do you know who I am?"
Well, there's one where he interviews who plays Abed from Community.
I can't think of his
So,
name.
anyways, he's interviewing him. He's like, "What do you like to do for fun?" And he's like, "Well, what do you mean? You know, like I like to hang around." He's like, "You don't like to go on vacations to Montenegro or do this or do this?" He's like, "I'm the voice of Scrooge McDuck. Like, what do you think? I'm just swimming in money?" Like he just chews the guy out. Like, I got nothing, man. I'm broke.
Larry King was a unicorn. No prep. He just
He just showed up.
shows up.
Raw dogged it.
Yeah, who
And
are
jumped-
we
and
who are
jumped
we
in.
interviewing today?
Gosh, he was the worst.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake? Got it.
Got it. Let's talk about it. His name is literally Brutus the Barber. He's like, so what do you do for a living? I barber. cut hair. So anyways, that's our Star Trek news.
Hey, you didn't play the listener feedback.
Oh yeah, the sound effect.
Oh, sorry, that was the wrong one.
Oops. Actually, earlier I thought your shirt, because it says BMB, was DMB, and I'm like, what just happened?
Frequencies open.
Oh, lies. Frequencies were closed.
They were
already.
open, and Cole said I'm hilarious.
I had a good segue into it. I'm sorry.
That's all right. You screwed up. You're done.
You know how else I
Ron.
screwed up? I didn't even track moments of silence, so I could drop commercial breaks in there. So this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Moments of silence.
There was one.
That was awesome. You stopped right as he said that. That was well done. It's almost like we muted it.
And the best part was he still didn't track it.
Should we cover anything else, or do we want to go on Star Trek?
Real quick, just for you guys, South Park, End of Obesity.
Yeah.
Aired. It wasn't one of my favorite ones.
Cartman goes on Ozempic.
Yeah, but there was a 5-minute spurt in there where you guys being of the same age bracket would have really appreciated there, where basically the mascots for all the breakfast cereal try to stop a certain thing, and that 5-minute sequence worth watching the whole thing.
I heard it's like a real knock on the healthcare industry too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It didn't have the same like humor to it that a lot of their stuff has.
Yeah.
But that 5-minute sequence, I was watching and go, man, those guys would love this too.
Does South Park still run like actual episodes? And
not as frequently, it doesn't seem.
Is this where they're going though? Where they're going to do like
kind of
half
appreciate
seasons and
that,
then they do like these special episodes?
I know they're contracted for seasons and special episodes. Or I think that's what I heard.
Okay.
So I think that the seasons will come, but you're going to see these probably specials a little more often as soon as, Matt Stone and Trey Parker are like, let's do something today. Let's earn our paycheck. Mm-hmm. Or something stupid. I imagine there's got to be one for the presidential election, right? Coming up. There's got to be one. They have in their back pocket.
I'm sure.
I'd be disappointed if they didn't.
There's big news there that we've avoided talking about.
Well, we're not really a political show.
No, we're not. But
that's our other podcast.
I think that's a little more than just politics, though. That's
history.
That's a historical thing.
The problem is it all turns politics.
I know.
That's the problem.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, it's absolutely crazy. But if we were to say it on the show, you could say it, but we'll either call it one thing or another. And if it's too much hate, man. It's just, why can't you just observe the fact that there was a law broken, and if the law was broken, that's the end of story.
Yeah.
Well, I can't get it. I don't know. All I'll say is you can't be a party of law and order only when
the problem is
it benefits you.
The problem is they're not that anymore, and that's the problem with that party.
They're not, but they claim they are. But
that's our other show.
But the Democrats are the party of morals, and we all know that no politician has any morals.
No, I don't. I would never say the Democrats are the party of morals.
That's what they claim to be. That's what they claim to be.
Hey, guys, listen to our other podcast, Lefty Righty.
I don't know. That's a whole.
It should be righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Oh my God, yes. Can we do one one episode?
Okay, done.
Okay. Can we just
righty.
one episode?
Is that going to follow up on our tramp
stamp? Can you write that down? Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Is that going to be after our tramp stamp?
The
Cardassians
stamp podcast.
The stamp podcast. Yeah.
All stamp news.
All stamp news, or our football podcast that we did.
Hey, coming up this year.
Speaking of coming up, we got an episode of Star Trek to review.
Yeah, we do.
So we got an episode of Star Trek to review. The episode is Time Squared. So let's.
I thought I renamed the episode 2 Picards, 1 Enterprise.
Oh, well, quick. Chris Helmsworth was cast in the G.I. Joe Transformers live action crossover.
Wait, they're literally doing the.
Yeah, I forgot to say that. I meant to bring that up. But yeah, he's cast as, I'm going to guess, Duke, if I had to guess.
You guys, I also didn't mention, I really want to see Mad Max Furiosa because they are saying it is a true masterpiece and Chris Hemsworth was to die for in it. But you guys
have you seen that body?
I want to see it in the theater, but no one will go with me.
I'll go with you.
You never saw the first one.
I don't care.
See, I don't want you to go because
you don't care. I want
you to care about what I care about.
Hold on. Isn't it a prequel?
So
why would I have to see the other ones if I'm watching a prequel?
You're right. You're in the clear. Okay.
I mean,
got it. You got it.
I like this.
Aren't I really just wasting my time?
Except for I'm never going to start with Star Wars with the prequels.
Well, first of all, Star Wars sucks.
no, shut up. You suck.
You've watched them all.
I've watched them all, and they're not good.
Would you recommend?
Hold on.
Would you recommend people who watch Star Trek start with Star Trek 1 or Star Trek 2?
Hold on. I haven't seen Rogue One. I have not seen Rogue One.
Rogue One's very good. Very good.
No Jedi in it.
Actually, I kind of like Solo. Unpopular opinion. I kind of liked Solo.
I didn't think it was that
No,
bad.
it's not that bad. All right. Star Trek.
good.
The rest of them sucked.
Star Trek.
Just like the Beatles.
Time squared. 2 Picards, 1 ship. No, Joe said it first. I stole it from,
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I stole it from Joe.
Can we that be the name of the episode that we're doing today? Because it is going to be on Instagram and YouTube.
You can do that. That's fine. That's fine. But I'm going to title it how we normally title it because our fans demand it.
Joe
Yes.
demands it, actually.
I do.
Well, and I
Not this week. 2 Picards, 1 ship.
No, that's fine. So, the Enterprise finds a distress signal out in space. It's a space shuttle. They get the space shuttle. It is Picard in the ship passed out. They're like, why is Picard passed out when Picard's on the ship? Picard looks at the other Picard. They're like, I don't know what's up with this Picard. He's out of sync. What's up with him? They put him on the med bed and he's all like, not doing anything.
One more time?
And
That's racist.
No. It's ableist because he's incapacitated. If
that's
anything,
true.
it's ableist. If anything, yeah, that fan needs to go on. Sorry, time out.
Yeah, hit those lights, man.
All right.
Ooh,
So-
commercial break time.
No,
Right in the middle of it.
No,
Right in the middle of it.
We already did a commercial.
Summary.
So, anyways, they
I tried, Joe.
They discover that basically they're in this time conundrum thing where this Picard had to leave the ship in order to save the ship, but in order to stop this conundrum, they can't let him leave the ship. They need to kill him. So Picard kills himself on the ship, and everything resets to normal. The end.
So many holes in this.
Okay, can we start off with the fact that Picard murders himself and just is like, everything's fine? And just
I was thinking that at the end too. I'm like, okay,
That's
next week, you
traumatic.
know what? Next week he's gonna be fine. Like it never happened.
Well, that's like O'Brien too. Like the guy gets put
Well,
in a
O'Brien-
prison for 40 years.
Hold on,
How many
O'Brien's
years
so
was it?
used to being abused. He's just like, this is another thing.
I know. He does get
no wonder
abused.
Brian wanted to eat a phaser in DS9. He saw 2 Picards.
Yeah, right. Hulk.
Isn't it nice to see a bunch of O'Brien lately?
It is.
Yeah.
Cole Meany.
Baby face O'Brien.
Babyface O'Brien. You know what?
Is he married yet?
Oh, he's been married.
Okay. He just looks so refreshed.
He's not married in this yet.
Oh, not in this.
No.
I was gonna say he looks very
He looks happy.
refreshed.
He looks too happy.
Yeah, he looks.
You can
too,
say it, Joe. Go ahead.
Too
Joe,
happy.
I'm happy in my marriage. Rob, I'm not going to speak for Rob. I mean,
I'm happy in my marriage, thank you.
Joe, not so much happy in his marriage.
I'm not married.
He's not married.
In his marriage could also be past tense.
Well, I was sorry for Patreon if you want to hear it later.
Oh wow.
Yes.
So, anyways, Joe can say that because as someone who's experienced marriage and has exited the game,
The dark side. Yeah. Pull me out. Cut me,
Say
Mick.
pull you out.
Yeah, pull me
Did
out,
you do that
coach.
by chance by default?
Joe used to be anti-marriage though, and I don't think he's anti-marriage these days.
I don't think he is
I don't
anymore
think he
either.
is anymore either.
I'm calling it.
I'm
He's backed off
calling
that.
it.
He's backed off that.
He wants it. He wants that marriage.
I
He
don't
wants
think.
that
Hold on. I don't think he wants it. I think he's better with it.
I think he likes that monogamy train. Speaking of monogamy train, Picard, he's single, and not.
No,
that
he's not
single.
monogamous. There's
No,
2 of them.
He's single to himself. Me, myself, and I. So
Question.
yes,
We need to get this out of the way.
Yes.
First and foremost,
yes.
if the Picards and Crusher had a threesome,
Okay, go on.
is it really a threesome?
Didn't we have this conversation? This is like the equivalent of your mirror universe.
Not really, because these are
They're the
Same timeline.
Same really timeline, just 6 hours off. But the other Picard was kind of like touched.
yeah.
But that Picard actually existed.
So it might be something else.
According to the mirror universe, that timeline doesn't really exist. It doesn't really.
The question is, would Crusher be into it?
That's more Picard. Of
Yeah.
course you would.
All Picard all the time.
We've seen Crusher and other things in future episodes that make you go, candles and.
Oh, yeah, the ghost. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to that episode. I cannot wait.
Is it a ghost ripoff?
Yes.
A ripoff of the movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there a clay scene
No, but we can make
where they're
one.
making a phallic
Yes.
Patreon exclusive.
I would be in.
A remaking of the Ghost Clay scene.
Pull it down, write it on the piece of paper.
No, see, what we need to write on the piece of paper is
my
recreating
God.
all kinds of different scenes
Oh
from
my
the movies.
And it could be you two, and I'll just be standing behind you singing, "Oh my love, my darling." Doesn't that where Whoopi takes?
I think I have access to one of those clay things too.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Patreon idea. Okay, moving back.
We have a whole list.
All right, we really need to dive into this episode. Sorry, we're rusty. It's been 2 weeks. That's what she said. The very opening of this episode is incredible.
Yes, it was. I had that written down.
When they do humor so well on Next Generation when they decide to do it. And the scene with like all of them being disgusted with the food and Worf's just
That was hilarious. Worf is just, I mean, he just.
woofing it down.
It's good. It's good.
And I love how he's trying to explain to Data, like, I know I could just do it in the replicator, but like there's something to be gained from cooking it, and it still tastes like crap.
Yep. Well, you get eggs from a planet. They're
Anybody
unfamiliar
look
with.
up what kind of eggs those were?
Oma egg?
Yeah, from whatever planet they were just at, or
so it's not-
Starbase.
Okay.
Memory Alpha. Let me look it up. Let me see if I can find it in there.
Are they normally bad tasting eggs, or?
Well,
I think it was unknown. I think it was an unknown thing. That's why Riker wanted to try
and that's why he made the
That's-
comment.
I was like,
afterwards,
if they taste this bad, why would he make?
It's like Riker with women. It's just an unknown thing he wants to try.
yeah,
That's fair.
I haven't had a Klingon. Let's try that.
Anything with eggs.
Yeah, that's true.
they don't. Oh, Memory Alpha does not say. Owan eggs. Owan eggs. So let me look up what Owan is. Owan is an animal that laid eggs.
Jeez, thank you.
Way to go! Another one knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Memory Alpha.
Yeah, good, cool.
I mean, that's the only time it appears, so they can't.
Well, I
help
know,
it.
but my thing was like, if he knew the kind of eggs he was cooking,
I'm assuming he didn't,
then
because that's why at the end,
why
like,
would he cook them?
his
Because they
defense
taste like
becomes,
ass.
That's because his defense becomes the cook is only as good as the ingredients, right? At the
Yeah.
end of it, like,
He's like, hey, these eggs taste like shit. What do you want me to do?
what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
He turns into a Staten Island
Hey!
resident. Hey,
Hey!
these fucking eggs.
These eggs here. That's a pretty good Staten Island impression.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I like that. Yeah, my Staten Island impression basically sounds like my Italian impression, my French impression.
You're Irish.
My Irish. Hey!
That's Austrian. It's
It's
not even really Austrian. It's just Arnold.
California. Yeah, get in the chopper now. Before this, you right.
Did you say oi 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 oi?
Jesus.
If you want like an AI voice record over. Jesus Christ, the Latter-day
Now I
Saints.
know why AI is so bad. It's just Nick doing
Yeah.
voiceovers.
I hate myself. Okay.
Wow.
So that first little bit was pretty incredible. And I actually appreciate how their teasers have nothing to do with the episode.
Yes.
It's like showing you what their life is like together outside of the normal everyday work. And I kind of appreciate they've been leaning more into that this season.
A little bit more. I think like the directive of story over character has been loosened up. I don't think Maurice Hurley was that much more involved, even though he wrote this episode.
Yeah.
So that scene, I picked up on something that I don't know if it was intentional or if it was just, it just happened on set. But when they're walking in, who was first? Was it Geordi? Someone was first, and then the doctor was next. But the door like almost closes.
I saw that,
It
yeah.
almost closes
It's
on her.
it's like they're hazing her on the set now.
The door guy was like, "No, let's shut the door on this."
'Cause
So I was like, because she clearly was like gonna walk into, and the door like almost closed on her, and then it opened up again. It was,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
it
You know
was
what?
hilarious.
Did you know that those doors are actually handled by a person on the set?
Like they're just
Yeah.
really. Oh, well, that was personal then.
Oh yeah, that was personal.
We're gonna close this.
That's
bitch
why
in.
that's why she doesn't talk about Next
I
Generation.
know.
It was the door guy.
Door guy.
This was a Maurice Hurley episode.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Because it actually kind of felt like a season 1 episode in a lot of ways. The pacing was all kinds of weird.
Yeah, it did.
Like silent moments and weird cuts, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, it's kind of weird.
And ultimately, I don't think they did a great job explaining the whole time travel, like what was actually happening, why the Picard. I don't think they did a good job with that.
I don't think they did either,
I
but
don't-
in the same breath, I didn't need them to.
Yeah, you just know that. Well, you know what they really didn't explain? Why did he have to leave the ship?
Like, why was it personal when he was getting attacked by the entity?
Yeah, why was it personal? Why did he have to leave the ship? Why did making him leave the ship? Well, I know why he wanted to leave the ship. He thought in leaving the ship he was saving the Enterprise because he was in a daze.
Well, also I thought the entity would focus on him and leave the Enterprise alone.
Right. But how is killing him stop the entity? Why couldn't they have just why couldn't they have stunned this Picard and then just turned towards the thing and left? Because there'd be two Picards now?
Yeah,
or he would never
give
exist.
Crusher way too many options.
There's no Crusher.
I'm just saying he could have gone to Earth.
I got you. Oh, and then he would crush her.
He would have crushed her.
Okay, so question.
It'd be like Cleon's Two Dongs.
Is the
Tudong Dylan from Talk Talk Punch?
No, Two Dong Picard.
Okay.
Because there'd be two Picards.
is the
Picard?
Consensual, of course. Only in marriage.
But okay, so in other science fiction and film,
Yes.
we learn that if you ever time travel, you do not interact with yourself.
Right.
Yeah, Marty McFly taught us that.
But that was in the past.
But in the future
And
as well.
And
So then why is that not apply here?
because it's
That
6
rule is-
hours, I'm going to guess it was only the time frame was so limited.
Yeah.
So there's a time you can't.
Well, maybe because
Yeah,
well, also it
exactly.
was,
What's the cutoff
they're trying to
line?
save the ship. So the goal was to save the ship in the long run, and maybe because it was just such a limited time frame, they're like, we got to do what we got to do.
We're going to play the rules fast. and
Maybe
loose.
because it was really just isolated to the one Picard. There was nobody else for him to interact with for there to be some sort of butterfly effect.
Well, yeah.
Well, and this Picard was also not with it, right? Like
Yeah.
they couldn't really interact with him or converse with him. So I think that
You
factors
say he's
into it.
Picarded? What you said?
Joe, connect, Joe, eye contact.
734.
I've been thinking it the entire time, and I just appreciate you saying it.
734-494-0980.
What'd I say? It's Picard.
I got a question for you.
You don't need to keep saying it.
Along those lines, Nick, you might want to earmuff.
Oh gosh.
So, can you take problematic terms and make them unproblematic by using them a certain?
Weekday afternoons on Fox. Batman's getting busy. He's gonna jump. Take him, boys. Jolt. Fly. Fling. Swing. Swoop. Dive. And drive. All you have to do is hang on. We'll end this on a high note. Get ready for action.
Batman, weekdays at 4:30 on Fox 39.
And you're like, no, wait,
I don't like
no,
you-
no, you're no, yeah, wait, it is, but wait, no, like, how do you? I mean,
I fully disagree with
can
you.
you
using
shut
that
something
R
down
word.
with that and just
I
say?
fully disagree with it.
Uh-huh.
I'm very.
I mean,
upset.
like, what are they going to say? No, it's not.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Like,
I've been
then you
working
really
with
kinda
them.
see what
I've
this
been
person
talking
is.
with them about the inappropriateness of using that word like that, but they have not figured it out yet. I can't.
Rob said it. I
Hey,
did not.
so you support racism,
Yeah.
Nick?
I can't. Be,
Are you saying it's not?
I'm saying, you can't like take a bad thing and make it good. I don't know.
I'm not making.
I'm not going to try. I can't justify your behavior. Why are you trying to make me?
I still have some thunder from you just then.
No,
No, I mean like some heat.
Oh no, I don't. You know clearly I do not care. I don't care at all about any of the
Am I
heat.
the only one who cares?
Yes, probably.
I said he was Picarded.
Yeah, but then he went and
I
said
took-
the actual
I
word.
took-
Yeah. Yeah, that's Rob. Walling myself off.
Oh, thanks.
Don't wall yourself off. You wouldn't.
Oh, sorry.
Second, this
First of all,
recording.
wall me off.
I'm gonna do like Dwight does. Shun.
Unshun. I love.
Unshun.
I love that
You can do
episode.
shame. Shame.
Wait, are you
Shame.
encouraging him to build that wall?
God. Save it for righty tighty
Lefty Lucy. Okay. All right. So in this episode, though, we don't really get a lot of character development other than Pulaski again coming at Picard being like, why is he being such a baby about this?
Well, here's the thing. I didn't like that whole conversation she had with Troy where she jumped to relieving him of command of the ship
Yeah.
based off this little piece. Like, girl's got some power issues.
Well,
I can do it, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
we know
Okay.
you can.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I didn't like that whole thing. I'm like,
I didn't
it
like
seemed
it either.
very, it seemed very escalated way too quickly, which is something that remind me of more recent Treks, which will remain unnamed, that do that kind of like extreme jumps out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, they're fine, and then all of a sudden they're committing mutiny.
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
We're looking at you, Discovery. I'm sure.
Well, I mean,
Why don't you watch Discovery, Joe?
Why? Because you guys speak so glowingly about
You
it.
might
It
love
sounds
it.
like a real.
Hey, to be
good
fair,
use of my
To
time.
be fair, there are people that really, really enjoy.
You know
it.
what? The fact that you haven't watched much Star Trek though might actually make you appreciate it more.
This is true.
Goes back to the fans. Like we have a certain expectation of what Star Trek is, and if it doesn't fit in that box, we throw a freaking fit.
Like for example, I just want a good story, and because I'm a Star Trek fan, I'm not allowed to like that.
No, false. That's not what I said. That's not what
But
I
if
said.
it's not a good story, why am I going to like it? I
It's
like a good story.
I like good characters, and it only has like a couple, but you don't know their names for like 5 seasons.
That's the problem. You don't know their names.
You learn
Stamets. This is the
Tilly.
engineer.
You
Tilly.
learn-
Culber is the doctor.
Oh, I know
That's
Tilly.
true.
I know Tilly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Don't.
remember.
Don't.
I'm just saying
Don't.
I know Burnham
Just
and
stop.
Tilly.
Just stop.
And then the alien guy is
Saru.
that
Saru.
guy.
Yeah.
I like Saru.
Yeah.
And the reason I know him is because they made a toy of him.
Yeah.
I like Saru a lot.
Saru's cool. You know Reno as well.
Okay, that's the best character on the show by far.
And she's got like the least amount of screen time.
She is by far the best character on that show.
Yeah. So, gosh, you know what? We've gotten lost in so many rabbit holes on this episode, and
I think Marv's right. We are exhausting.
I want to. You know what? I agree with Marv. You are exhausting.
What do you mean you are? You're part of this.
We had some
co-signed.
we had some nice Deanna Troi moments, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was, and
She was being a counselor
she was being a counselor.
to Picard and to crazy doctor lady.
Yep.
Who probably works in urgent care. Crap, you rubbed off on me.
See?
I'm kidding. I said that just for you.
She's the urgent care version of Dr. Crusher.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, because she doesn't heal this guy. She just sends him on his way.
And
I can't help you. Go.
And what's
Go
with the
see a
scene
real doctor.
Where like the Picard in the bed is having all kinds of issues, and she's like, "Where are all the nurses? Where's the other doctors?"
Well, that's always Star
No,
Trek.
there's just-
Have you ever been in an urgent care? There's like one person.
So you're saying now the Enterprise sick bay is the urgent
It's the
care.
person who checks you at a reception. All of a sudden comes back with you to the room.
But like,
I'm going to draw your blood now.
They check you in. They take your vitals, and they're like, okay, what's wrong? I'm gonna send the doctor in
And
2
they're like,
minutes.
Hold on, we got to get the X-rays, but I got to go mop the floor.
They're the janitor. They come back in one of those. What are the disguise faces?
yeah,
There's a Groucho Marx, the glasses and nose and the.
You gentlemen should make a video of your experiences at urgent care, but act it out. Actually, act
You
it
don't
out.
need
We
to
should take
encourage
your
us.
experiences and do skits of them.
Oh my gosh, I have had some bad experiences.
I'll be Eli, and Rob can just beat the crap out of me and send me to urgent care.
I'll hit him with my car.
So back to Pulaski, back to Troy, back to Picard.
But to your point, like they didn't. You think they didn't do a good job explaining the science of it all? But
No.
again, I didn't really need that for this particular episode. I didn't need an over explanation.
No, I mean I get that they're saying because it's like a time sort of thing, like his body's synced up to another time, kind of, but trying to sync to theirs, so it's creating like a fuzzy memory. Didn't they try to explain it in a certain way? I can't remember how they explained it,
Yeah.
but they did a decent job explaining that, I think. But anyway, it isn't about the science. I get that. The problem is you need to have a more compelling story to make up for the fact that it isn't about the science.
Sure.
And I also don't want it to be too much about the science because I have found that we're starting to get into the technobabble era. They're starting to use it a lot
Yes.
more on
Yes.
this.
And it'll continue for the next.
And it'll get
seasons.
worse.
I've noticed
actually.
it, and it's in my head. I'm like, I got to bring this up on the show.
I think
it's just there's too many it's like term after term after term.
Yeah.
It's,
Reverse the polarity.
Always. When in doubt, reverse.
oh, when they looked at the ship and Picard's like, oh, it was an antimatter blast. Clearly, I was like, it looks like could be dust. They just went down a dirt road somewhere. It looked like.
Yeah, it did.
Well,
Get a-
to be
get
fair,
a- get a car wash.
Different explosions you can tell from the smoke and the smoke or the dispersion pattern. So
yeah,
maybe he recognized that.
then Riker was like, yeah, well, it couldn't have been too close
It was
because
a
it
leap.
didn't.
I will agree. It was a leap.
I
Did you
know.
guys catch something Next Generation's only done once before, like references to other Treks?
Where?
So when they're talking about time travel, they said, yeah, it's been done before. Yeah, warp 10 and a wrap around the sun, Star Trek 4.
Yeah.
And then they actually mentioned the Traveler as well from season 1. They don't do a lot of that in this show.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
So that was kind of nice.
So
they referenced a previous episode of the same this.
No, they referenced the previous season
movie and a season.
But not. I don't mean previous episode as in like the one before it. I mean one that happened before.
Yeah, and then I want Star Trek 4 as well.
So Star Trek its own problem by mentioning its own canon. It creates its own.
No, because you can't ignore those things.
Isn't it ironic that in a time travel episode they mention previous Trek?
Yeah,
it's the only time really.
Yeah,
they go back in time.
Yeah,
Huey Lewis should have played a song. Back in time.
I don't think they did a good enough job in this episode showing the real dilemma of Picard trying to figure out what his other Picard is doing. There wasn't enough turmoil for me.
Well, they also made Picard
kind of a prick,
kind of too skeptical. That's the only word I can think of.
Well, just
too much, too fast.
Well, and then also when he comes hard at Picard when he's when they're like, yeah, he can't understand you, and then so he starts screaming at him anyways. It's kind of like you're talking to someone who speaks a totally different language, and you're like, hey, can you understand me?
They're both Picard.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of your mouth?
Thank you, Chris Tucker.
Oh
so I didn't like that. One of the line deliveries I really did like was when he's like, release him. And she's like, do you know what you're doing? He's like, no, release him.
I actually kind of appreciate that. Nope. That's what we're going to do.
Nope, but we got to try something.
Or otherwise, we're all going to die.
Yeah, exactly. So here's my question. If they would have left him in that ship, the loop would have just kept repeating.
Yes.
They'd be stuck in that 6-hour loop.
Yes.
Would they remember what happened in the previous loop?
I'm going to guess no.
So they could have been in that loop for a long
eternity.
time and they didn't know it.
Yeah.
And I think there is an episode later on that covers that.
Very similar.
Yeah, where it's
an episode called Cause and Effect.
Yes, that's a great
Would you want to be stuck in a 6-hour loop?
Depends on what's happening in those 6 hours.
It depends what's happening. You know what I'm saying? If it's the line win playoff games, yes.
If it's our conversation about Patreon earlier that we were talking about, it really isn't about that.
I was thinking earlier, our Patreon really is a good deal for $2 and $5.
It is.
Yeah, it really. I mean,
you should sign
it's
up.
either like the best money you spend every month or the worst money you spend every month.
I mean, I feel like this episode is not a really good episode to tell people Patreon's a good investment because we have been so off the rails today. You've said multiple offensive things.
I have not
helped him out. Not by trying to be like, what Joe really means is you said, no, let's double down on this.
I was more of a hype guy. I went behind him like, yeah.
Yeah. You know what, though?
I haven't said anything offensive.
I kind of want to backtrack real quick.
Let's go. Okay. It's a time travel episode.
No, yeah, so
we're in a time loop.
Going back to the conversation about use of the R word, I'd be curious how much of the public, like if you did a survey, how many would be like, don't use that word versus like the N word versus like.
There's some words you just shouldn't use.
I have a feeling the N word would win that.
Yeah,
I'm
going to go with yes.
Yeah, but if you secretly polled white people, do you think they'd be that opposed?
I don't think any of them would admit it.
I think that was the same thing that happened with the elections in 2016. They did all the polling, and no one would admit who they were going to vote for.
I will say, I'm not a fan of that word, like at all. I don't want to hear.
Wow, way to come out strong on something.
That's a hot take.
That's a hot take.
Hold on, but you know that if I was like, well, I think it's, I'd be honest if I'm like, oh, it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
Because most language does not bother me.
Yes.
Oh.
See,
that word, I do not like. I do not like that word. I do not like
the power it can hold over.
Yeah,
people, especially
and I'm not really a
fan
of. I'm not a fan of slurs that are with intent to demean or to put somebody down.
To piggyback on that, I'm not a big fan of. I don't want to hurt people on purpose, and even saying the R word like I did earlier, that was in jest and all that other stuff. But I'm not going to use that word outside this room.
I think we've had the conversation before between.
I'll just put it on the internet where people can hear me.
Between saying that word and calling somebody that.
Yes, there's a difference.
That's the Michael Scott approach.
Yeah.
Michael Scott says that actually.
Yes.
So does Louis C.K., but that's a bad example.
I think.
Yeah, that's not your role. Yeah. Neither one of those are your role models for.
No, but I think you would want to put more of your eggs in the Michael Scott basket.
Absolutely.
I think you would. I would think you would. No, I would really be curious about that though, because it wasn't actually that long ago that word became like a faux pas.
You should do it on your Reddit things and put it as a poll.
Okay, so here's our weekly Pluto TV segment.
They should get them to advertise with us.
As you know, I love King of Queens.
Yes.
I don't know why.
There are a lot of Doug makes a lot of jokes about calling things gay.
Oh, our laundry's done.
Laundry's done.
Good.
Makes a lot of jokes about calling things gay. Like there was a game night and he didn't want to participate. He's like more like gay night, and and that was like early 2000s.
Yep.
Or like probably like 99, 2000, 2001. I think they phased those jokes out towards the end of the run of that series.
Yeah.
That's one that was not too long ago.
And then that just became wrong. Like, and what was it that made it that way? Right? Like
that's people becoming more aware.
But I think
that's what's. Yeah, you're right. People became more aware. But what made them more aware? Like this fascinates me about society and culture. Like when the switch gets flipped, what causes that switch to flip?
I think sometimes, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but it's a super ignorant where it switches somebody off the bat. Where you're like, wow, that is ignorant to say.
Yeah, I think it's more. I think ignorance is a good word because
I actually think the whole 2016 election change enlightened a lot of people of what maybe you shouldn't say.
I think there's a lot of truth to that.
I think there's a lot of truth to that.
And I think that there's that, and then maybe even a precursor to that is the real rise in social media use and how prevalent social media is in everyday life.
Yeah,
where when you're saying these certain words, whatever words they may be, a lot more people have access to you saying that rather than it was in middle school calling your friends gay because they had a certain trapper keeper or they had whatever.
Trapper keeper, nice reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really had a contained level of harm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas if you say it with a loudspeaker, a social media loudspeaker, anybody who has internet access can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it becomes, this type of language is not okay and it hurts people.
Yeah.
Where you might not have intended to hurt people, which is where the ignorance comes in.
Okay.
That's kind of how I say. I like the.
Yeah.
I have an actual answer.
Go ahead.
When the word became kind of wrong. Mental retardation was still written in many United States laws and documents until October 5th of 2010, when U.S. President Barack Obama signed into effect a bill known as Rose's Law. The bill changed the federal terms and replaced with mental disability. Also, the phrase mentally retarded individual was replaced individual with an intellectual disability. So Rose's Law was the start of it. And she was a girl with Down syndrome, and she worked with her parents to have the word removed from health and education in Maryland. So that started a whole... That created the awareness back in 2010. And that tracks with King of Queens right around that time frame.
Yeah. Give or take.
I mean, King of Queens. What was the run years
for
that?
But they never, I don't think they ever used the R word in there. They used gay as a slur.
Oh, who didn't, right?
That's what I'm saying is like
Friends also super problematic for that.
I imagine Chandler dropped that one every once in a while.
Didn't
he get confused? Didn't he get confused for gay? And he was
all the time.
Yeah.
Chandler always got confused for gay.
Yeah,
always.
He pulled in Monica though.
His dad was
honestly Chandler and Ross were kind of gay in that.
I don't know. He pulled in Monica.
Monica was so much better than Rachel. I would take Monica all day over Rachel.
There's another poll we should put up.
No, Phoebe's kind of a wild card too. Phoebe.
I know, there's some.
No,
there's some years.
Are you speaking? This is Patreon. This is a little taste of Patreon.
No. Save it.
We got to record a Patreon.
Save it.
Okay.
Save it. All right. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We went way off the rails today.
We've never done that before.
This is what happens.
That means I'm going to rate this episode a 4
because
this
is what happens when you take 2 weeks off. But now we got to go to rating these episodes. Yeah, we didn't talk a lot about
you pluralized it. There's only one episode.
This episode, we didn't talk a lot about Times Square. Personally, I think that's because there wasn't a lot to talk about. I give it a 4.
I'd say you're pretty right. 4.
Yeah, I have to say 4.
Wow, that was... Gentlemen, we are like in lockstep this season.
We got to fix that.
You know what? Actually, you know what's so funny about this is I think in DS9, we were fairly close except for The Visitor, which was clearly a 0 out of 10.
Okay, go ahead. Then I'm going to put a pin in that.
And then DS9 or Battlestar Galactica, we would have wildly varying opinions of the episodes. Like some of the ones you really liked, I hated, or you liked, I didn't like. Like
we did vary a lot with Galactica.
I think that's a mark of a good television show, though. No, Rob, roll your eyes. You know it was a good series.
Battlestar.
Okay, let's pull the pin. That's what you do with The Visitor. I have. Here's another Pluto TV plug because they have a specific channel for DS9.
And it's only The Visitor playing on repeat.
I've seen The Visitor 3 times since I started watching.
First of all, I love that you're watching it.
It's not that good.
It's fantastic.
No,
it's not. I mean,
734
up in the sentimentality of the final.
494.
It's not that good because
0980.
there's no lasting consequences to what happened.
There was not any lasting consequences in any of the series.
It's not even that emotional.
Man, you're wrong. Man, you're just straight up wrong.
I every time I watch it, I'm like,
listeners, I need you. If you've ever listened to this show more than once, and if you're still around after this episode,
I think all the people you're pleading to are long gone.
Patreons, for the love of God, say something to this.
We need to leave. We need to just get out of here.
Fine.
Yes.
We're getting out of here.
I like it cold. We out.
Hey,
this is Cole, isn't it?
Keeping up.
This says Joe's hilarious, so obviously he's insane.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's clearly a genius. Listen to the music and his opinions on me. Clearly a genius.
Next week we'll be back with 2 episodes to review. Our goal is to stay on track for at least 15 minutes.
Well, hopefully they help us. And the first episode next week, not going to help.
Please offer your viewer feedback. 734-494-09.
This episode was brought to you by the Adderall shortage
Love
in
you
the
all.
United States.
Bye.